any other environmental issues in this present scenario. And it is also, it has been well quoted by different high-level dignitaries. Even the Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of United Nations, said that humanity has never faced a greater challenge than climate change ever before. So this is the prominent issue of the modern generation that the humanity is facing now, and there are a number of catastrophes, a number of disasters increasing because of climate change and the increasing temperature across the globe. And we can see here the impacts of climate change is not only to the rich people, it's to the local and the poor and marginalized people as well. Its impact on the agriculture, biodiversity, health, and ultimately suffering the livelihoods of those people living in those very difficult areas, and also the people living in the developed nations as well. Let me come down to the AR5 fact assessment report 5 facts, which clearly mention that there is no doubt about climate change. There is no doubt about climate change. It is most likely happening, and more than 90% climate change impacts, and Nepal is is no doubt to climate change impacts. As we have Himalayas and also the difficult trend from within the 150-kilometer range, we have different climate and different ranges, and because of that, we will be facing a downstream agriculture relies water for irrigation. This report from World Bank 2013. It is clear that a serious problem that we will be facing in the future generation, and we need to do something to act upon the climate change so that we can have a sustainable and the future where we can live healthy in environmental terms as well. And let me come down to the what we are doing to combat climate change in Nepal. So what are the activities that have been carried out in Nepal from the eye of a youth? What are the youth doing in Nepal to combat climate change and to fight against climate change? I have some pictures which is clearly about we have been doing some kind of activities such as climate advocacy training, the youth summit, green discussions every alternate Friday, along with Pasim Paila, Nepal Youth for Climate Actions conducts and holds different green discussion series and different on different topics related to climate change and also to disaster related issues. We also work to the parliamentarians and the constituent assembly members. We try to ask them, request them, and also inform them about the importance of climate change agenda and their national priority. Even now, also Nepal government and the political parties basically who are the one who to decide upon the government policies and practice programs. These political parties are not even aware about the climate change impacts in Nepal and the scenario of it in the future. So we try to influence them and inform them about what are the impacts of climate change, what we will be facing in the near future. The government of Nepal has already declared that by 2022 will be developed from the least developed countries to developing countries. So what is the framework for going through that phase? And within that phase, it is mentioned already that climate change will pose a serious threat on our economy, on our development process, and unless we change our course of development, we can't progress to that level. So we need to think of that lineup, and we are trying to influence those political parties basically on that issue. There are some of the pictures that we used to conduct as a Nepal Youth for Climate Action as a youth of Nepal, and also we also hold the different. We also organize different conferences like the South Asian Youth Conference on Climate Change. Nepal as a country can't only raise the voice of climate change. We have to be in a team. We have to be in a network. Until and unless we are in a network, we are in a team, we can't raise this issue and we can fight in a global negotiation process. So we try to influence those youth across the South Asia, organizing different SAC level regional conferences. And this is one of the pictures that we conducted in 2009, and it has been continued to some extent, but we can't carry on because of some technical issues, which we will be discussing later on the challenges part. So basically talking about those issues, what we have done and what is climate change, I want to go through these, how we can make a difference as a Nepali youth. It's better to act now rather than wait and just see what will be the impact. So there are some we need to, like, globalization is something that we need to understand. From global to local level, we need to understand the science of climate change. But from local to global process, we need to act upon the different local level activities, what we can do at our local level. So this is just the animation of how we can change. This is the top. It's like dual process from national to global and global to national to global, and from local to global in between the national as well. So my as of my experience working in climate change sector since 2008, I just want to share that until and unless we try to communicate what we have done to the decision makers, the political parties, political decision makers, and also to the media, we can't have our impact meaningful, and we can't have the real impact of what we have done in our local level. So that also influences global scenarios as well. So this is just a quote from Ban Ki-moon and Margaret Mead. We must have heard about it. And also, let me go through the challenges part. So recognition and trust is one of the major challenges for the youth activities. It's really hard, based on my experience, that we work in a network, and then when you work on a network and people really, those people, allied people in a way, these people from the scientific background, we are in a process of learning and gaining the experience. And the people who have already gained the experience, they doesn't really understand the language that we speak up onto. And we are not that much into the scientific part because we are going on, we are developing our knowledge. So recognition and trust is one of the major challenges for youth to work on the climate change, and capacity to heart level is another challenge. The capacity to only influence and to make people aware about, to conduct outreach activities, or to other higher extent is another challenge. And also the translating science to action and policy, global to national to local, is because climate change is just a scientific term, and now it has been politicalized, and it's now a political agenda of the global. But basically it is a science, and translating that science to local level is a tough task, and that is another challenge that we have faced in the past. And also sustainability of action to bring meaningful changes. Youth are dynamic, they have choices, they can move where they want to go, they have different opinions, different perspectives. So sustainability of any actions to bring meaningful action is another challenge that we have faced. Now, the coordination to shape a bigger youth climate movement is impactful movement is another challenge. Coordination among the youth is always a challenge, but it is still also an opportunity to deal with. And also, in terms of opportunities, when you talk about challenges, there are of course the opportunities. And when you talk about the opportunities, networking and sharing is one of the major opportunity that we can catch in working in a team and working in a network. We can network to different people with the different academic background and expertise as well. And capacity building is another one. Each and every individual can be capacitated when working in a team, and global solidarity to any event, and also the exposure. And another one is the exchange of ideas is one of the major opportunities that we can catch in.
Minutes. So I request the bottom leaders to take in time, but it looks like the video is around 7-8 minutes to present. So Mr. Buddha Bhadracharya will be presenting speaker. Will introduce, he will have some background during this.
Thank you, Chiranjeevi sir. Thank you, Santapur and Rita, and all the respective representatives from several organizations and youth participation. Myself, Buddha Bhadracharya, coordinator of Post by the Chiranjeevi sir has already introduced myself. I will introduce myself. As I just like to highlight some of my slides. Already today, topic of my presentation slide is Pasim Kala, youth step towards epidemic in Nepal. As you can, the ground reality of Nepal. Nepal is a developing country. Let's say it's still in underdevelopment. So there are lots of issues that we need to address. Among them, there is the one very big issue, that's epidemic issues. Time and again, we can see we hear from lots of news about the epidemic incidents happening in Nepal in lots of places. So I would like to continue my presentation. Uh, so yeah, some of the issues, was issues, sanitation and hygiene issues of Nepal, and some of the news clips. We could see time and again lots of death due to very simple reasons such as diarrhea. Diarrhea and cholera epidemic that occurs almost every year in Nepal, and it takes the life of thousands and thousands of innocent lives every year. There are some facts about Nepalese war situation. 80% of companies. But again, the question rises: is this the exact data, or the pipeline has reached in the household, or the real safe water has reached in the household? There's the big question. In the same way, according to the census 2011, 62% of households have sanitation coverage. It's measured on the basis of toilet in the house, not on the basis of other sanitation measures. So still there is the question regarding the relevancy of these data. In the same way, 48% of households have soap and water to wash hands. Again, there is the question. Every individuals, they keep the soap and water in their house, and are they really properly utilizing their soap and water and hand washing practices? The next data: 1.8 billion people die every year from diarrheal diseases. 90% are children under 5 years. So this is a very serious issue that we need to address. In the same way, 8,500 children in Nepal dies each year due to diarrhea. So regarding this, these are some worst issues in Nepal. In this regard, there is one data regarding the youth population. The youth population of Nepal covers 38.8% of the total population. In Nepal, definition is very interesting because in Nepal, the definition of youth defines the age group of youth as 16 to 40 years. So here again, the question arises: is this the real youth group, or are they a group that is rated in the favor of Nepalese people? So I would like to go to the history regarding the Pasim Paila movement that occurred from 2009. Here we can see some clips and some points. Pasim Paila, it was started as began in 2009 when Jajapur and lots of other districts from western part of Nepal, they occurred the epidemic of diarrhea and took the life of around 300 innocent lives. So after that, youth from Nepal, different youth from youth backgrounds with different public health, MBBS, and other different backgrounds, they gathered in one place, and they just had a very simple meeting, and then they started the movement called Pasim Paila, and they marched toward the western Nepal, and they started to share what they learned, and just simple activities such as awareness regarding hand washing, the inquiry solution, and other things. Then the epidemic came into control. After that, the youth group, they never stopped. Still today, they are in the movement of Epidemic Free Nepal campaign. Here's some highlights about the key activities that we have been doing since last 6 years. Here's the WASP Forum, the regular interaction program in the every last Friday of every English month. It's we have run about 35 series of WASP Forum, which have covered around 1,400 youth directly. The same way, youth WASP concert workshop it's happening in every biannually, let's say. In the same way, event days. There are lots of event days in Nepal. Among them, we have been celebrating lots of event days, and we have been delivering the message of water sanitation and hygiene importance to the general public. do various activities. In the same way, School Was campaign that's happening parallelly. There are some glimpses of the activities that we have been doing. So there is the Epidemic Free Nepal. It's a campaign. So it's a campaign to prevent wasp-based epidemic in Nepal, which is going on. So there are lots of glimpses about the activities. We have been utilizing the social media such as Facebook and other Twitter, which is very popular among the youth of Nepal and globally as well. So we have been utilizing the platform of social media in the same way or the various activities that we have been conducting for the campaign called Epidemic Free Nepal. So next one is the menstrual hygiene management campaign that we have been conducting since some past years. As we could see, menstrual hygiene is a serious issue in Nepal. In the western part of Nepal, basically, it has been the very serious problem as well because there are lots of myths happening in Nepal. So these issues as well we have been addressing through the Paschim Paila. It's basically youth network. So we have some glimpse of, as we have earlier mentioned about the WAS concert workshop. After that, some of the group they visited us to conduct one program. So we collaborate with them and we just built a project called WAS-led Youth Empowerment Project in the slum area of Kathmandu, and there we covered around 150 households. They were benefited, and this the main highlight of this project it was led by youth. It was done in the youth approach. We just provided technical assistance to those youth group, and they conducted all the activities in their community. So this is one of the successful programs that we can say if youth initiated, everything is possible. So there are some challenges regarding the Nepalese perspective. It might be of the South Asian or let's say the world perspective. Low employment opportunities. It's for generally for youth. The same way, high migration rate of youth in Nepalese context. Every day, around 1,600 people migrate to the other countries in this seeking employment opportunity. This has been a serious problem of Nepal and not say globally as well. It's being a serious problem. And the same way, insufficient support and trust from concerned stakeholders. Still, while the concern is about youth and their innovations, the concerned stakeholders are silent because they still don't they can be a change maker or you can do lots of initiations. So this has been a major challenge as well. In the same way, there are lots of opportunities that we have been seeing. Likewise, vast issues it's been increasing in urban sector as well. As we can see, the Bagmati movement is starting the Bagmati cleanliness campaign, and other lots of urban issues are rising, and in the parallelly, rural issues are also rising. So there are a lot of opportunities we could see. Several private companies are providing vast services. So youth local entrepreneurship development can be done in the massive way. So this can be the one opportunity that you can get involved. In the same way, youth volunteerism can significantly contribute in achieving vast goals set by government of Nepal. As government of Nepal has said, by 2017 there will be 100% sanitation coverage, and we could see the data. Still, there is around 62% coverage. So by 2017, it's very short span of time. So the spirit of youth, or let's say innovation of youth, will be utilized in that perspective, so that the national target could be met through participation of every sectors. In the same way, innovation in vast technologies and service delivery, as we could see, lots of students and youth from different various backgrounds, they do have lots of innovations and technologies in their mind, and we need to speak up youth. As a youth, we need to speak up in various platforms that we get, so that we could tie up with the senior groups of our sector, and we could develop lots of innovative programs. Here are some of the youth roles that we need to, if we follow this. So let's say set an example and start from individuals, or let's start from ourselves. Next one is scale up the voices and motivate others. Let's speak up and motivate other companions as well to work in this sector. The same way, transfer knowledge and skills to others. As we know, if we transfer skills, it never ends, it grows eventually. In the same way, volunteer effort and innovative initiatives act as a campaigner to prepare and respond on any kind of outbreaks and disasters. As we know, Nepal is very prone from the perspective of disasters and epidemics. So we youth have to be very proactive and prepared to respond to those scenarios. Youth advocacy and policy sensitization for safe and healthy communities. As we know, youth are the present as well as future. So if we start advocacy and policy sensitization from present, the future of ours will be secured and futures of our future generation will be secured. So I think this would be my end of my presentation. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Badradari, for the presentation and highlight the activities regarding the WAS. Now, we'll move forward with the next presentation. WAS and youth. Mr. Praveen Bastola will present this paper, this presentation, and then we will have 7 to 8 minutes because we have added some grace period to 3 minutes.
Thank you so much, Sir. It's my pleasure to make a presentation here with you at this important South Asia regional consultative workshop among youth. Today I will be discussing about volunteering in the WAS sector. WAS sector issues has already been highlighted by my fellow presenter, Mr. Bajracharya, and then I'll be highlighting more on youth role and their potential participation in changing the status of water supply and sanitation in the region and also in Nepal. I'll start with few of the statistics that we have already been discussing about the water supply and sanitation coverage in Nepal and also around the globe. If you see the water supply coverage in Nepal, it's only 84% of the people have access to water supply. So that is access to water supply, not the good quality of water supply, not the good quantity of water supply to their households. So there is a need of 16% coverage. And while we talk about sanitation, even that is even higher. So that's 30% of the people do not have access to sanitation facilities, that is at least toilets. They don't have toilets. So they are defecating in open. So these are the challenges in the water sector. So even we have these kind of challenges in the water sector, we have been achieving a lot. I'll show you the achievements that has been made and discuss about the achievements that we made from 1990 till now. The statistics that have been reported by UNICEF and WHO has mentioned that we have achieved 46% increment in the sanitation coverage from 1990 till now. Huge achievement in our country. So that if we talk about the global scenario among the developing countries, we are among the top 10 countries and being the second country in the globe to make the big achievement in the sanitation. So Ethiopia is the first and we are the second. So we have been doing a lot. So efforts made by youth has also contributed to some extent. We don't have any calculations to say that youth has contributed this much percentage of that achievement. But there is a huge, potential role of youth that has resulted into this change. So youth are the change agents. And if we talk about the schools, the statistics show that more than 35% of the Nepal's community schools do not have toilets for students. So that is also one of the huge challenges. But at the same time, youth groups, the school students who have been, mobilizing themselves, uniting themselves, networking themselves to address the problems of water supply and sanitation in their schools and in their community is very commendable. If we look at the statistics of the word sanitation and education, so there is a correlation, somehow that is correlated. I'm not quite sure how it has been statistically proved or not, but the report produced by UNICEF and WHO has mentioned that there is a relationship between the education and the sanitation coverage. So if you look at the statistics, who are educated are using safe sanitation facilities, improved sanitation facilities, whereas the people who are not educated or who have not, attended preschool are not using proper sanitation facilities. So we need to look from this perspective as well. If we want to improve the water supply and sanitation situation, we need to improve our education. We need to improve the status of education. We need to highlight and emphasize on the education of the youth and our community people. So if we talk about volunteering, in these two issues, water supply, sanitation, and education, was and education, there we see a lot of potential. If we talk particularly in Nepal, 30% of the households we can focus on, sanitation. And 10,000, more than 10,000 of the community schools have, proper sanitation facilities. So we can, really make efforts from youth to make and to bring changes in the community and in the institutions and ultimately in the globe. The opportunities don't come if you don't become proactive. Being proactive, you can show your talents, develop new skills, and build network. Sometimes youths whom I work with have excuses or complaints that we were not informed. We didn't know where to go and have our, volunteer skills being applied. So that is not an excuse. So if you want to make a change, you have to be proactive. There, you can show talents, develop new skills, and build network. And here, the most challenging thing is that we have not been able to, really network ourselves. There is no such strong network that can, bring together all of the youth together. So that is a challenge. There we have platforms. Here we mentioned about Paschim Bara, we mentioned about Nepalese Youth for Climate Action. There are other youth organizations, associations, universities in Nepal. But we have not been, I have seen that we have not been able to really, capitalize those resources, the network, the strengths of youth by, bringing together and building a synergy among themselves. So that is a huge challenge and as well as an opportunity there, I can see. I want to say something that can trigger people. Try to be first in a category. If you can't be first, try to create a new category. So people say, you say, yeah, these things has already been tested. These things has already been, practiced. What about the new thing? So you must be proactive and you must be first. If you can't be first, try to create a new category. And the youth are the one who can innovate. And there is one research statistic that has shown that the youth, particularly from age 27 to 33, are the most potential age group. They can work, they can innovate the most during that period. So we youth should be highlighting ourselves and at the same time innovating for the social change. And the social media can also be your ally. So finally, if you want to innovate, if you want to develop new skills, if you want to network, ultimately there is a huge, gap in the water supply and sanitation sector where you can bring lots of changes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vastola, for your presentation. We have completed the presentations it took 30 minutes. So we started at 11:10, and now it's 11:41. So we are within the time. So so now I'll open this forum for the interaction. So please introduce yourself and put your questions to individual presenter, or you may, some of you may express your experience also as well, because these three presentations have covered some of the involving services, not all. So within 2 minutes, if you want to share your experience as well, we can do that. Guys, the floor is open. Raise your hand and introduce yourself.
I'm Raghuram Acharya, as a President of Scientific Research Society, Nepal, and student of Environmental Science. I have a question, sir. Climate change is a small pond, and we all are jumping in this pond, and it is a very narrow pond. We have different sector in environment, and we can do our work. We can. Our work in different field of environment, and we have to deglobalize if we want to do sustainable development. But we are now emphasizing that climate change, and it's better to do work in the other field of environment for the sustainable development. Is my suggestion and queries to all.
My request is, if you feel comfortable speaking in Nepali, you do that, because the essence should be coming from your statement. So if you want to do that, please speak to do that.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Karim. I'm from Indonesia. Currently, I'm working in local NGO that concern in education and social business in rural area island. I just got a caption from Mr. Besanta that says about the environment. You showed that the diagram about from national to agent of change to the grassroots level, and then somehow we are an archipelago country. We are screaming aloud about. I had a project that since 4 months ago in a small area that has 115 islands, and this year we lost 5 islands, so we only have rest 110. But at the grassroots level, the condition is they never realize that that's the problem facing just in front of their house. But somehow, even though the people's coming to their place, they unrecognize that okay, it's their project, it's not our problem. So what the things that it's I agree it's connected with education. But how do you think that in those three levels you can make sure that it's synchronized because grassroots level is the first target. We are the volunteer coming, make a project 3 months, hit and run, it's done. We can make the report and be proud. We can send it to UN, we can send to everywhere that make it project. But look it back afterwards. The grassroots level, it is just like, oh yeah, thank you guys, you have the state to here, you signed it, it's funded, it's funding by. Anyways, so that's my first. Do I close to another question? Okay, my second is about the. I really give a big applause for Mr. Ben. You're working really hard about the diarrhea campaign and everything. You get such a big anniversary and show it. And then, like, it's, I don't know, like, how's the Nepalese thing about being a volunteer? Like, it's diarrhea is like the daily risk that everybody can get it. With the numbers that shows that 1,500 like guys each year, is any other like to make a new category that can push the young people between ages that 16 to the 40. So what do you expect in that age? Might be the people notice that that's like Mr. Buddha mentioned that people move to other countries, they work, find being a good condition. It's normally that's human being. They want to get good, better life. But here we are. This is the people we were born. It's the people that we will live. So thank you for nationality as well. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Joni. I'm a lawyer working in environment and climate change area since few years now. I have a general questions to all and to Mr. area. I'm interested talking about translating science into action and policy as a challenge that youth face. I think it's not only a challenge that youths are facing, at least in terms of climate science, because it's a global to local problem. But I'm interested because there can be no doubt that Nepalese youths are delivering so much in terms of activism, advocacy, and campaigning thing. But I see, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I see a gap in terms of doing science. So I'm interested to learn whether or not the organizations or the networks like NYCA or other organizations working and doing, engaging youth in terms of doing actual science than only focusing on advocacy or campaigning thing. I'd be very interested to learn about that. Thank you.
Anyway, I was
Namaste everybody. I'm Dinesh from Volunteers Initiative Nepal. I work here as volunteer manager and I mobilize national and international volunteers here. Every year we mobilize about 500 volunteers for our community development. As we are working for health and sanitation project, and we are constructing toilets in different communities like in Okhalunga and Malpur and even Kathmandu area too. So thank you for the presentation. I love many new data there. My just request is if somebody is interested to volunteer with us, it's open. So you can talk with your friends and connect with us as we are working to promote volunteerism and almost like tourism, I tell, and I am developing tourism and volunteering together. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much. I'm Ram Kumar Acharya, as an environmental lawyer in Nepal. I have one query. The query with Mr. Vasant Kapoor, mobilizing youth towards sustainable future. You have explained explained about climate change only. But there are so many environmental challenges to establish the sustainable future in Nepal as well as the world. How can we manage sustainable environment? I mean sustainable development in Nepal. And another thing is translating science to action and policy. Climate change is a international politics. Somehow and somewhere, developed nations are imposing us like Nepal, less developed countries and other countries, they are imposing such type of policies. And our nations, I mean, less developed countries are not able to apply those type of legal policies, the international legal mechanism. How can we arrange? How can we face in future? That's my question.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saraj Adhikari, and recently I am a faculty at Central Department of Environmental Science, Tiruvallur University. I would like to ask a question. It's my query, not a question, to Ravi sir. He has presented the facts that 70% of the population in the country have access to sanitation and 30% yet to have the access. And there are several organizations and NGOs who have been working on the sector of waste to establish the sanitation facilities to each and every household. But what I think the major challenges associated with establishing the sanitation is there have been several organizations constructing the toilet in the household, and most of the people, they are not yet aware of using the toilets. So how can we youth work on the motivation of the communities to efficiently use the toilet in context of our country so that the problem or issue related to sanitation could be addressed to a greater extent? Thank you.
No,
I want to interrupt. This will be a question of this con. We'll open the next one.
Thank you, Chiranjeevi sir. I just want to add to what Ramkumar just said, and it's about how I felt after going to observe Porticosi. They're building a dam over there, upgrading from 75 megawatt to 102 megawatt, and then we all understand that hydropower is essential for Nepal, especially right now, and but then tourism is equally important for Nepal. So by building a dam over there, we're seeing rafting, whitewater rafting in one of the best rivers in the world. So are we, it's just a general feeling like that. That's what how I feel. Have we been able to prioritize what we want and how we're going to meet the developmental aspects as well as preserve tourism, which are both like two pillars of economic revolution in Nepal. Thank you.
So, now I'll request Mr. Paul to respond firstly, and then we go to Baskola.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful questions and queries as well. First, let me respond to Haribol Acharya, environmental science students. I agree with your point. There is money flowing in the climate change sector everywhere in the world, and in particular to the least developed countries who are facing the acute impact of climate change. I agree with your point. And most of the people doesn't realize the importance and essence of climate change. Climate change, and they just bumped into the NGOs. I'm going to say that the climate change agenda is now NGOization, so no way NGOization now. So they don't understand the meaning, core values, and core meaning of climate change. How to respond that, and they're now jumping into the climate change agenda just to seek fund and try to sustain their activities, and that is bitter truth in Nepal as well. And I'm really, I'm not that like I feel sad looking at those scenarios as well. We implement adaptation activities, but we don't know what is adaptation. We implement resilience, climate change resilience activities in Nepal, but we don't know the meaning of resilience. So that is the bitter truth on that, and there is a gap. We as a youth we can work on that. Try to make people aware about those people, and then try to build the capacity of those people in different levels. And so we can achieve sustainable without we can't achieve sustainability or sustainable development without working on climate change in this present scenario. Because climate change now has cross-cutting issues related with each and every environmental issues. Like we can say the flooding is environmental issues, the landslides is environmental issues. I agree with that. But the rate of flooding and landslides has been triggered by the climate change impact, and that is the area where we need to work upon. So climate change is not a single issue. It brings up all the other issues related to the waters, related with livelihoods collectively, and also with other different natural disasters. So we have to work together with the climate change issues and incorporating all those environmental issues to bring the sustainable future for us. And now I want to move ahead with the Karim. Yes, sea level rise is a major problem to the coastal countries, and as you have said that you do have 115 islands and now there are 110 islands in your area. So it's not only to Indonesia, it's all to all the Tuvalu and all the other countries also. They are facing the acute impact of climate change, and sea level rise is what we can observe, particularly in those areas. In terms of Nepal, there is impact happening upon in Nepal, but people haven't really understood those impacts because that is happening at the micro level. It hasn't been like happening at the large scale. But now the impacts of disasters, now the impacts of like the blizzard that happened last October. Now people are trying to understand what is happening. There is something strange happening around in the environment, and that might be to the climate change. And now people try to understand what is survival in terms of Nepal, what is how Pani Parivartan, and they try to hear a lot of those stories in the media and also in the newspaper. I want to reflect back to the COP 15 2009, which was happening in Copenhagen. And that time, the Nepalese media were at the height of the climate change issues. In each and every paper, there used to be a climate change agenda, climate change issues. It was mobilizing across the country, and I was also involved in that activity. So at that time, the climate change agenda was at the height, and now we look forward that type of agenda in 2015 when there will be an agreement. It is supposed that, believe that, expected that we will have agreement, legally binding and also fair and ambitious legally binding agreement in Paris this year, by the end of this year. But we are yet to see what will be the element of that agreement also, and in countries, the rest of countries. And also, there is always a problem linking up the activities from global to national to local level, and there comes the role of the youth, as I see there. People. I wanna relate this story to this scenario. I heard that the day before yesterday there was a good seminar happening in the farmers in Nepal, and bringing the farmers from the community level, grassroots level, which doesn't understand the English, and also were fascinating seeing all those infrastructures in Kathmandu Valley. They haven't seen those infrastructure here in their lifetime, and they come to Kathmandu and they participated in a good farming seminar. And just make any sense. They didn't understand. There was a report in the Ujala 19 network. I studied that and I read that. And I was so fascinated. Like, in a way, I was sad about that. We need to work upon, and we as a youth have to realize and understand. We can work as a moderator or in a way mediator for the policy level to the grassroots community level. We can understand their language also, and as an educated youth, we can understand the language of policy and also language of science. So we can act as a mediator in that terms. And there is always a problem linking up with activities, and we need to see and and that problem can solve sharing from this type of seminars and conferences and workshops as well. I do look forward to hear more about those issues. And now translating science is a problem in Nepal. in terms of climate change, many social research, social science, not the science, social research have been organized, like what is the vulnerability of the people, how the people are affected by climate change, how the women are affected by climate change. Those are the research that have been mostly conducted or carried out in Nepal. But we just look at the real science of that climate change in Nepal, and it is lacking. It is a problem, and it is lacking in Nepal. And currently, under the pilot program on climate resilience, the PPCR component, there is a provision of supporting the research and R&D research and development in climate change. And then NASP is taking a lead on that, and they have called for the research related to purely science-based, not the social science. They want to do a research on science, and then I hope that the students from the KU and the TU, they have been more engaged in that part, particularly in the science of the climate change. That is from my point of view. And also, addressing the Ramkumar sir's questions about, yes, I have presented mostly on the climate change issues because I have been working on climate change, and I see this issue as a major problem in Nepal. We have a problem of floods, where we have a problem of like inundation, we have a problem of flooding, we have a problem of disasters every year. We have the people being lost their lives every year, particularly in the monsoon season. Those are all the environmental issues. Now I'm focusing on the climate change issue because it is an issue that can exacerbate those type of disasters happening in Nepal. So until and unless we try to influence the policymakers and ask them, or in a way, or influence them to try to adopt climate change related disaster and climate change as a national agenda to act upon, we can't have a sustainable future and we can't have a sustainable development in Nepal. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boran. Now it's Don.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your concern regarding the water supply and sanitation coverage, the challenges, and the sustainability of the sanitation facilities. If we talk about volunteering in water supply and sanitation, and you have rightly pointed that how can really youth bring change in this issue? So there are huge challenges. There is a huge challenge, and we see there is a huge potential. So we have almost 40% of the people, youth, in almost every household. So we are there. So if we can be a real agent of change, then we can change. So it's up to us when we want to start. It's now we need to start. So we can really make a change. And another important issue that I already also highlighted before in my presentation, that is we have not been able to really bring a synergy among different types of, people, different types of, stakeholders. I mean, we haven't been able to capture the potential of media. In media, the huge percentage of the people working in the media are youth. And if we can really sensitize and trigger them and have a friendship, we call in Hindi dosti. If we can make dosti with them, and then we can really bring change. So the media is a powerful tool where we can bring about change, not necessarily negative. So we have a very bad perception that the media becomes negative. Media highlights negative issues. That's not true. How we trigger them, how we orient them, that depends on how they really bring issues out through media. So we can volunteer. If we can invest our 20 years, 22 we volunteer for 6 months or a year to bring a social change. Can we make a commitment to volunteer for at least 6 months? There is a provision at national level, National Development Volunteer Service here in Nepal as well. So that why is not that really being, flourished? Because of ourselves. We youth are not really motivated. What is that motivating factor? What can really motivate us to do that? Because we have innovations, we have creativity. We can't always be creative, but we can create environments to become creative to others as well. So we have to be the real agent of change. And regarding the sustainability of sanitation facilities that we have, as mentioned by my friend there, that it's all about bringing out long-lasting changes. It's about awareness. Awareness in the mind of people. Awareness and monitoring go simultaneously. Without monitoring, people will not be really changing themselves. It's not only providing facilities, but also sometimes monitoring and triggering them time and again so that they have sustained changes. So let's have a kind of sustained friendship relationship among the media, the environmentalists, the WAS professionals, the lawyers, and all the academicians, and then we can make a real change. We are talking about science. We are talking about technology. If we want to talk about environment or water supply and sanitation, there are lots of research going on. Science have been doing research, but the technology part, the engineering aspect, the engineers and scientists are not coming together to bring a sustained solutions. So that is where we need to look at. So it's about collaboration. It's about bringing about synergy. We can't work as a scientist alone. We can't work as an academician alone. So to bring about sustained changes, we need to have collaborations. So real collaboration, and we use at least if we can collaborate with others, that is super. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Adrian, and okay, we'll have another 20 minutes discussion and interaction. So, Mr. Srestha has raised his hand. So,
thank you. I'm Param Seth, advocate, Nepal Bar Association Environment Law Committee Secretary, and President of HCL. I have not more question. We have discussed environment service, and especially in Nepal, we must discuss on the law sector also. Now discuss on technical sector and other sector. And Nepal, 114 laws established in environment sector, and especially water, and 7 laws and standard regular also established, and 3 paper very important. And but we have one challenge and opportunity, and most important in challenge and law implementation and low profile in Nepal. I think other country also same like this. So day by day decreasing in environment issue. We have discussed how to improve and how to save our life and healthy life. That time I need proper law implementation. And what do you think about this, our paper presenter? This side also important. Like this EIA and IE also not properly used in the past. Without EIA and IE properly used, not save our life and not fresh water So we need properly law implementation. This side also things and perfect agenda. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leila Rosen, and I'm from America. I'm a U.S. Peace Corps volunteer, so I'm here for 27 months. And I live in a rural village in the Lumjung district. And so we've been talking a lot about connecting the local to the global, and I personally went to the very grassroots level in village. And so I'm really interested in hearing about some local examples to the global ideas, the broader ideas that we've been talking about. I understand it's very difficult to talk about such ideas really briefly in a 5-7 minute presentation. But I would love to hear more about specifically in Nepal what youth are doing, specific activities that they're engaging in with WASH, especially related to menstrual health and like safe sanitation toilets at schools, things like that. Just because those local examples, even though the context is different, across countries, across places, in different spaces, the ideas are very similar and can be used in different ways. Thank you.
नमस्कार, म राजाराम कर्मचारी काठमाडौँ महानगरपालिकामा काम गर्छु। विभिन्न कुराहरू यो बहसमा ल्याउनुपर्छ भन्ने हिसाबले मैले कुरा उठाएको हो। र यहाँ युवाको कुरा छ, युवा शब्द जति राम्रो छ ठ्याक्कै त्यसको उल्टा भइरहेछ। वायु भने उडेर जाने विदेशमा। अब हामीले कति गर्न सक्छौँ भन्ने कुरामा हामी अलिकति डिस्कसनलाई समय छ भने धेरै बस्न सकिन्छ, एउटा बाटो यो छ।
Our volunteers please help the foreign participants here to translate Nepali. If you need translator, please raise your hand. We have volunteers here. Okay? Oh yes. Someone, Vijay, will you do?
No, I thought you were asking if we need to translate it. I don't know what it's saying.
I'm trying to arrange an interpreter for you. Oh yeah, Vijay is here. Okay. Any other? You need translator?
Finally, we have arranged an interpreter. Your translation.
I'll try my best.
फेरि दोहोऱ्याउन चाहन्छु। म राजाराम कर्मचारी काठमाडौँ महानगरपालिका।
Rajaram Karmachari, Kathmandu Metropolitan City.
युवा शब्द भोलिन्टियर शब्द जति राम्रो छ त्यो चाहिँ त्यसको ठ्याक्कै उल्टा भइरहेछ नेपालको सन्दर्भमा।
Youth is a very beautiful word. It means Yuva in Nepali, and it has become the opposite of it. Bayu. Let's make it.
र अहिले चर्बीको कुरा पनि छ यहाँ। चर्बीको कुरामा धेरै जसो अधिकांश गाउँमा हामीले प्राथमिकताको बारेमा हाम्रो पक्कै पनि ध्यान दिएको छैन जस्तो लाग्छ। यो 5 वर्ष अगाडिको कुरा हो, धेरै अनुभव छ यससँग सम्बन्धित कुरामा। त्यसै गरी काठमाडौँमा पानीसँग नै चर्बीसँगको कुरामा हामी गाउँमा 2 लिटर मात्रै पानी प्रयोग हुन्छ एकपटक दिशा बस्दाखेरि भने काठमाडौँमा एकपटक दिशा बस्दाखेरि 10 लिटर पानी जान्छ। त्यो कुरा पनि बसमा ल्याउने कि नल्याउने।
Toilet is an important topic to discuss, and in rural areas we use only 2 liters of water while we stay in toilet per toilet, and urban areas it uses 10 liters of water. Will this topic will be discussed or not in this forum?
जलवायु परिवर्तनको कुरा गर्दाखेरि हामी प्रकृति चाहिन्छ कि प्रविधि चाहिन्छ? तपाईले प्रकृति चाहियो भने चाहिँ प्रविधिलाई इग्नोर गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था हुन सक्छ। तर प्रविधिले हामी यति दिइरहेछ कि तपाई हेर्नुस् न, ब्याङ्कले लोन दिँदाखेरि हामीले कृषि क्षेत्रलाई अथवा चाहिँ चर्बीले लोन दियो भने दिन्छ। तर यहाँ गाडी, बोर्डर, स्काभेटर र त्यसपछि टिभी, फ्रिजहरुले चाहिँ तुरुन्त लोन दिन्छ।
We are indulged between nature and technology.
In nature state, we don't get loans from the bank, and in technology sector, they easily gives us loan, like for buying houses, for buying fridge and TV vehicles, we get loans. But for science, we don't get loans, and agriculture as well.
र हामीले हाम्रो संस्कारले के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि हामी हावा पानी माटो जीवजन्तु वनस्पति सबैले पूजा गर्छौँ है। यी भनेको प्रकृतिहरूले प्रकृतिले पूजा गरिरहेछौँ हामीले। पूजा गर्नु भनेको त्यसलाई बचाउनु हो, चाहे रुख होस् चाहे पानी होस्, सबै कुराहरू के बचाउनु हो, पूजा गर्नु भनेको। तर हामीले के गर्दैछौँ, सबै ध्वस्त गर्दैछौँ। इभन काठमाडौँमा घर बनाउँदाखेरि पनि एउटा अरूले जाने घर बनाउँछ, तर एउटा भङ्गेराको लागि पाल पनि बनाउँदैन। अब हामी कतिको निर्दय भइरहेछौँ है। त्यसकारण यहाँ चाहिँ हरियाली कुरामा खोज्दाखेरि गाह्रो हुन्छ काठमाडौँको दिनमा।
We worship all wind, water, and nature, but we are not protecting our wind, water, and nature. We build a house, we disrupt our nature, but don't plant any trees.
काठमाडौँको कुरा गर्दाखेरि फोहोर मैला कुरा आइहाल्छ। फोहोर भन्ने बित्तिकै सबैले छिटो दुर्गत गर्छन्, फाल्नै पर्छ भन्ने मान्छे राख्छ, निकाल्नै पर्छ भन्ने मान्छे राख्छ। तर एउटा पक्ष के त भन्दाखेरि मेरो आफ्नो अनुभवमा चाहिँ फोहोरलाई सम्मान गर्न जाने भनेपछि मात्रै आफू सम्मानित हुन्छ भन्ने त मान्यता राख्दाखेरि राम्रो हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ। त्यसको विषयमा धेरै कुराहरू छन् र हामीहरूले के गर्दैछौँ त?
As we talk about Kathmandu, the highlighted topic solid waste, it comes along, and we have a trait to hate solid waste, but we need to respect it and take it along.
अहिले चलिरहेको चर्चा छ बागमती सफाई अभियान, कसैले राम्रो होला कसैले नराम्रो होला, तर हामी बागमतीको हिसाबले गरेको 40 वर्षदेखिको फोहोरहरूको सफा गर्नलाई प्रयास सरकारी बेसरकारी काठमाडौँ महानगरपालिकाले छन्। तर त्यहाँ फोहोर फाल्नेको सट्टा फोहोरै नफाल्दाखेरि त्यहाँ सफाई गर्नु पर्दैन भन्ने मान्छे हामीले किन गर्न सक्दैनौँ?
Bagmati cleanup campaign is a highlighted issue these days. Every Saturday we clean up Bagmati, collect the solid waste around it. But different NGOs and INGOs are inbuilt to clean Bagmati. But why aren't we developing a concept not to throw waste there?
प्रकृतिलाई बचाउने हो भने खासै यहाँको सहभागिता छ। भोलिन्टर नगरी हुँदैन, किनभने व्यवसाय पनि गर्नुपर्छ कि पेट पाल्नको लागि। तर वातावरण अभियान पर्यावरण अभियानको लागि केही न केही हामीले गर्दाखेरि भोलिन्टर गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो लागि पनि राम्रो हुन्छ भन्ने मानेर राख्न चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद।
To protect nature, a volunteering is a must. So we need to develop our art to develop to volunteering. Let's unite to do volunteering. Thank you.
Hello. Namaste everyone. I am Navin Manari. I have environmental background, but I am currently involved in research project at the University of California. I am in favor of world volunteerism and to get the sustainable development in the near future. But while we are talking about the scenario, and some of the members here have already mentioned that more than 1,500 youths are going abroad to earn their economy. And in this scenario, in this socio-economic condition, how we can talk about volunteerism? How can we expect volunteerism this way? As we grow up, most often in the rural areas, 15 to or less than 50 years child makes a passport and goes abroad to earn its economy. And we are talking about volunteerism. What we get about after volunteerism? Sustainable development. If we cannot move our livelihood to the near future, why should I contribute for next? Or why should I contribute for nature? And talking about the perspective of underdeveloped countries, why should I volunteer for developed countries which have created this scenario? And most of here we have the climate change, war sector, and these all scenarios are somehow built by the developed countries. This climate change is being hot issue, and they have problems with these issues, or they are caused handies. So, being true, I want to ask, I want to put an point here that until and unless our educated youth is unemployed, he will still volunteer. But as soon as he gets a paid job, he leaves volunteering, in my opinion. And I think this is the fact. Speaking नेपाली सायद यो धेरैको मनमा लागेको पनि हुन सक्छ यहाँ. And I want to put this is my query for all of the participants in this seminar, but I'm in the favor of volunteers and sustainable development. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. My name is Sriti Tiwari and I'm from Korea. I have a question for Mr. Buddha Bhattacharya. I appreciate the work that Postikala has been doing in various sectors, particularly in menstrual hygiene management. I do want to know, is there something being done about chowdhury, this issue of chowdhury, which is a very big issue in my perspective, and is there something being done from the volunteer side to tackle it? And secondly, I have another question for Mr. Robin Pastola. There are many districts in Nepal currently which have been declared open defecation free. However, if you look at the statistics, the main diseases that the people are suffering there are still diarrhea and jaundice. So is there something that can be done after ODF? Can we go post ODF? So I wanted to know these questions.
Anybody else?
I'm from Disability Media Foundation. Actually, I was surprised before some years ago when I read the articles about pollution result, people are dying with diarrhea and other things. Recently, when we worked with one project in Kathmandu, Water Hard in Kathmandu, we made expert toilet. And then I realized that in Kathmandu, in the capital city of Kathmandu, we are creating barrier to those people who cannot use the toilet facility, the people with disability. We are creating a big barrier. Inside Kathmandu, the only few toilets they are made for person for PWDs. And I have seen all the presentation, but nobody was talking about the issues of disabilities and the barrier that is creating to the people who cannot see, who cannot walk, and who cannot hear, and who cannot speak about their problems. So, in this accessibility is in the
Celine Smith. I'm also a Peace Corps volunteer living in the Lumjung district working on food security. And I actually wanted to go off of that point that was just made asking about the disabilities, because I wanted to bring up like lower caste and marginalized populations and how you all are working to fight against environmental marginalization. And because for example, how Dalit populations tend to be the farthest from water taps, and how women tend to be the ones that have to gather the water, and then it affects their free time and what they have, what they're able to choose to do, and how this all affects wash and things like that. Because if they don't have water access and are having to go farther, they're not as likely to wash their hands. They're not as likely to drink as much water, and how you all are including this in the work that you're doing, and making sure to not widen the gap that is already present.
Okay.
Firstly, I will start from oil. We have
queries related to climate change, but I have some opinions and my response to some of the queries that have arose here. I forget to mention about the hydropower related issue that you have mentioned earlier. Yeah. So by building big dams, so we are like destroying the water life, the life of the water, and that's a bit of looking from the environmental perspective also. Now, so that's why we have to rethink the development process that we have been carrying out, that the world is carrying on, and now the people from the Western world, and they have been thinking, and then a lot of people who have been involved in the development sectors have been rethinking the development procedures, and then we need to look at that, and as a youth also we need to look at perspectives also, checking the environment as a core, and then developing ahead with that note. And also, I agree with that. We don't have an EIA much. Many EIA have like IE having done like the results and the reports. When you go through those reports and results, we don't see any meaningful impact after they have been published or they have been reported. That is a bit in Nepal, and that is somehow related with the government systems or in a way bureaucratic process also, because we have a rules, we have an act and Environmental Act and Environmental Protection Act, environmental rules. But we don't implement those, and we have very little fine. Like I heard that only ₹1 is fine for those for not submitting IE or EIA, and that is a bit of a construction company constructing the large dams of millions of dollars, and then when they don't do EIA or IE, they are only fined for ₹1, and so it doesn't sound like where are we heading towards? Is that sufficient enough to carry out the activities that we want to go through the sustainable path, or we have to incorporate the environment in that issues now? That is another issue we need to look at. And also, from the response of Raja Karma, I agree with the point. नेपालीमा हामीले त्यो वायु चाहिँ युवा चाहिँ वायु भएर गएको छ, दुईवटा कुरा पनि हो। हाम्रो चाहिँ सोसियो इकोनोमिक कन्डिसन पनि त्यस्तै छ, हाम्रो पोलिटिकल ट्रान्जिसनमा हामी छौँ, हामीले केही गर्न खोजिरहेको छौँ। अहिलेको युवाहरूमा चाहिँ अलिकति समस्या देखिरहेको पैसा पनि जोडिएर आउँछ। म त साथीको सँग पनि जोड्न चाहन्छु। हामी हाम्रो सामाजिक रूपमा हाम्रो दबाव पनि छ, पारिवारिक रूपमा हाम्रो दबाव पनि छ। काठमाडौँ पढ्न आइरहेको छ, खालि भोलिन्टियर गरेर आफ्नो लाइफ सस्टेन गर्दैन, मेरो एक्सपिरियन्स पनि भइसकेको रहेछ। त्यो भन्ने अभ्यास गर्नुहुन्छ। मेरो बिरुवा पनि त्यहाँ थियो, I carried on volunteering. Red Cross volunteer गरेँ, Red Cross पार्टी काम गर्दै गर्दा volunteering ले कहिले पनि तपाईलाई यतिकै छोड्दैन। It capacitates you. By volunteering you will be capacitated, you will be trained in different issues. And when I was volunteering, I'm still a volunteer in Red Cross, and I'm volunteering in disaster management staffs and also with some other skills which I can provide at the moment whenever it is needed. So volunteering is a precious job you do without getting money. It's a personal satisfaction that is from volunteering. So keep on volunteering, but look on the eye of your career as well while volunteering on these issues. That's it from my point. Thank you. There is one question for Mr. Bhattacharya. You will get from that.
Thank you. Thank you for the questions. It was regarding the menstrual hygiene management. So basically, talking about our decisions, we are basically focused on advocacy part. So Chhaupadi, it's really a very serious issue. But then lots of organizations have been working to eradicate Chhaupadi. But our concern is that Chhaupadi itself, it might not be the bad thing, or let's say it might not be the good step that organizations have been initiating. As we could see, there are lots of campaigns going on to eradicate Chhaupadi houses. So if I would just like to relate with the personal thing, person is utilizing his right hand for doing all the activities, and it is his or her behavior to utilize his hand to do every activities. But if we say him or her to utilize his left hand to do every activities, then there might be a serious problem. So in the case of Chhaupadi as well, it will take lots of time to eradicate Chhaupadi. But if we initiate to say to people, you should not live in those houses, it will create lots of these things. Those people won't realize the seriousness that they are facing. So at first, we need to speak up. We need to make them realize what the ground reality is they are facing because of Chhaupadi, the health hazards they have been facing from the Chhaupadi. So in this regard, we have been working the advocacy part so that the people will realize themselves to eradicate the Chowpatty system from their own initiation, not from the outsiders' interventions, outsiders' force. In the other hand, we have been starting the menstrual hygiene program on the schools as well. So most of people must be unaware regarding the International Menstrual Hygiene Management Day that have been started celebrating from last year. It's on 20th May. So from last year in Nepal as well, in every villages of Nepal, there was a campaign on let's break the silence. Let's speak, at least speak about menstruation or menstrual hygiene for that one particular event, so that means as well they get involved in the process of menstrual hygiene management, and the issue of menstrual hygiene management can be generalized as the issue of like other very good issues. So these are the initiations we have been doing, and I would like just add up with the disabled friendly public, so let's say disabled friendly toilets. So last November there was the we advocate for the user friendly public toilet, not only disabled friendly, but it should be user friendly. It should be friendly, gender friendly, and other aspects of friendliness. So we think that the initiations have been started. So we'd like to request collaborate other organizations and other individuals to collaborate.
The whole globe is suffering from the problems of open defecation, the menstrual hygiene management, and so. So there are a lot of challenges, but the challenges don't come with solutions. They always come with solutions. So we need to look from the perspective of mobilizing the different groups of we already mentioned. If we religious leaders, we need to mobilize them. If we can mobilize the media, we have to mobilize them. So it's not one bullet, there is no one bullet solution. So there should be lots of solutions, lots of contextual things associated with the challenges that we have been facing. Yes, legal enforcement of all of these legal measures is one of the issues that we have. We have to make sure that all of these legal instruments are, properly, executed or enforced. So to do that, we should be aware as well. We should raise our voice. We should raise our voice for the right of the people. UN has declared water and sanitation as a human right. So why can't we claim for the right? Why can't we claim the right for our communities? Why can't we claim the right of the whole population in the nation? So sometimes we have to be change agents. Sometimes we need to advocate. We need to raise voice ourselves to pressure government and agencies to work on supply, water supply, and sanitation. So when we talk about volunteering and also about this different aspects of water supply and sanitation, so we need to look at the problems from the grassroots level. So we need to have a kind of evidence base. So what is the real problem? We are talking about Chowpatty issues. We are talking about menstrual hygiene management. What is the problem? So we need to have a kind of evidence base. What is the percentage of people that are practicing Chowpatty? And what is the percentage of people that don't have access to supply? 50% people don't have access to water supply. So who are they? So we need to track them. So we need to identify them. That is a very small number, but we need to track them. So those people are the unreached ones. So those people are who we don't know really. Who are those 15%? So we need to have a kind of a planning that addresses the real problem. So the marginalized, disadvantaged groups. There are lots of legal and the policy measures already being adopted to bring us solution to the problems of the people with disability. There is an accessibility guideline developed by Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare that mentions that every public buildings, new public buildings should have facilities or supply and sanitation facilities accessible to all of the users, whether the differently able people or the physically able people. So there are legal measures as well. So, but we don't know. So our role will be disseminating those legal measures. What are those things that have been mentioned? Why can't we communicate that? Why can't we disseminate that? So there is a role of youth. There we have to really bring those information to the general public and talk about the right of those people, and then we can really change their behavior as well, and then we can sensitize and encourage them to play for their right. Thank you very much.
Now, we move on to wrap up. I would like to thank all the presenters, Mr. Bastola, Mr. Gordon, and Mr. Bosatare, and other participants who are present and discuss the issues of vast climate change, local versus global actions, community concerns, law enforcement challenges, difficulties of people with disabilities, and then particularly accessing the infrastructures in the urban areas, and youth volunteering in the environment sector, among other discussed widely, and I think the discussion was lively, and it has enabled the dialogue on youth volunteerism in the future in Nepal. I think this will benefit hugely in the environment sector. So I would like to thank all the participants and presenters again. So thank you all. And then I have two logistic informations here. One is regarding the hiking. On 25th, day after tomorrow, we'll be going to Sundarijal area up to Bagdwar for hiking, and this is coordinated by Native, and you may, if you are interested, please contact the desk number 1. It is it is personally supported program. It means it's not the rest you need to pay. It's nominal cost. It is Nepali rupees 550 only for transportation, breakfast, tea, and lunch. Okay, please contact 1, and after this session we'll have lunch outside, and then after that we have the volunteering and service clusters number 2, environmental service 2, and disaster service also, and then the room will check. Which room I don't know right now, so we'll check that. And please have a lunch, enjoy the lunch, and thank you so much.
धेरै जस्तो नेपाली मान्छे हाँसेको Also, I was going to ask, do you work against corporations that pollute? You try to companies that would get that's the sort of work that you work against.
I'm not. I'm not.
So the work that you do
Yeah.
is related to working, like to check the environment.
Yeah.
If there are corporations that are polluting, like rivers or.
I have one in the involving lawyer software. No. Especially I'm all I'm a bank employee. One of the sometimes free in compass, sometimes free and popular. People, no? Who are suffering. That's why we are convinced and understand and job. Not sitting on one side. Suppose that they don't know what is the environment law, how to apply environment, what is this issue, and two lawyers for each cause. And we decide.
Yes, yes.
So, we are fascinated.
Yes,
खाना गाउँ
Yeah, main idea like yeah, yeah. Yeah, you need
No, no, I'm following this. One card.
why did Masters not about it?
पोलिसीहरू यताउता बनाउँदा बनाउँदै 2 वर्ष भयो मैले चाहिँ त्यो भलन्टियरहरू मोबिलाइज गर्ने काम गर्छु पठाइदिनु भयो सायद हेर्नु भयो र सिक्रेटमा काम गर्ने पठाउनु भयो
There's no space on the tablet.
Oh. I think say more. There we go. So then we have that's what
그러니까 마지막에 아, 그때 맞나? 네. 항상 대화하고 진짜요? 야, 렛츠고. 그다음에 또 이거 가방 어떡해요? 이거 신경질 괜찮아요? 솔직히 아니에요. 私のカバンにある。
म इङ्ग्लिस कम बोल्छु नि कस्तो लाग्यो ठिकै बोल्दा हुन्छ है
कुरा त्यो बोल्दाखेरि के काम शान्तै हिसाबले आफ्नो कुरा राख्ने कि
बोल्नु कन्टिन्यू बोल्नुपर्ने छ कि हामीले आउँछ तर नबोलिकन बस्नु है हो होइन जस्तै अब मैले बोल्दा त एक्सप्रेस त राम्रो हुन्छ
जस्तो कि हजुरको नबोलिकन बस्यो भने पछि जहाँ लाग्छ त्यो एक्सप्रेस गर्नु
बोल्छु म धेरै धेरै बोलिराख्दैन कि प्र्याक्टिसमा यस्तो भइराखेको हुँदैन नि त्यसो कुरो चाहिँ बोर्डमै आयो
अब लिगल स्टुडेन्टहरूकोबाट एक्सपेक्ट गर्नु भन्दा पनि हामीले नै दिनुपर्ने कि त्यो चाहिँ किनकि हामी मास्टर्स गर्ने अनि उनीहरू इन्भाइरोमेन्टबाट आउनेहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले
तर त्यो उनीहरूले मैले भने त्यो च्यालेन्जभित्र चाहिँ त्यो पनि एउटा चाहिँ च्यालेन्ज छ भनेर लेख्नु अरू कुरालाई भन्नु त्यो भित्र चाहिँ त्यो धेरैवटा च्यालेन्ज गर्नु त्यो पनि एउटा
कज एन्ड इफेक्ट सबभन्दा मेजर प्रब्लम भयो क्लाइमेट चेन्जको कहाँनिर क्यान्सर बिगार गर्नु सुरु हुन्छ र कहाँ गएर त्यसले असर पार्छ भनेर त्यो लिङ्क हुन्छ नि साइन्टिफिकल्ली लिङ्क चाहिँ कज एन्ड इफेक्टको लिङ्क नछुटाउन सकेको हुँदैन यो सबै प्रब्लम हामी लिटिगेसनको प्रब्लमै त्यही हो अब त्यो नछुटाइकन कसरी क्यान्सर सक्छ कहाँनिर गलत भएको छ कहाँनिर मर्का मरेको छ भनेर त्यो डिस्कप्सको के छ
त्यहाँ फोटो खिच्नु त हामी सबैको टिमको अनि सेल्फको फोटो त्यहाँ त्यो क्यामेरा त्यसले चाहिँ हुन्छ होला जसले के त्यो फेसबुकको फेसबुक पेज छ नि एउटा हाम्रो टिडिसिएलएफ त्यो पेजमा हालिदिनु पर्यो पेज लाइक गर्नु आएको तपाईँले नि सबै बसौँ होइन कसैलाई फोन अर्कोलाई नारायणजीले आउनु त आउनु सबैजना
यहाँ बस्ने र यहाँ बस्ने मान्छे मलाई
हो त्यो त्यहाँ बस्नु घर यहाँ बसेर अनि फोटो दिने क्या
सबले हामीलाई
खोइ अरू साथीहरू खोइ त
Here, language name? Yes, for which name? Here, machine. This is a word.
राम्रो क्यामेराले खिच्ने हो कि राम्रो क्यामेराले खिच्ने हो सुलुचनाको क्यामेराबाट खिच्दिनु त
होइन माथिको
शेयर गरेपछि थाहा भइहाल्छ
अलिक कालो आयो अलिक टाढाबाट आएछ टाढाबाट आयो
There is no other
नानु अलि नजिकबाट
मेरो पनि एकछिन आज चाहिँ म अलिकति यस्तो अलिकति ढल्कायो भने बाङ्गो भयो नि त त्यो फेरि उहाँले गरिहाल्छ
अझै तपाईँको हातले देख्छ बोलो चाहिँ बोलो चाहिँ थाहा हुन्छ
एउटा सेयर गर्नु न
कपी एन्ड पेस्ट गर्नु त्यो काम चाहिँ अभिषेकले मात्रै गर्नुपर्छ
फोटोसप हजुर उसको ना
सापकोटा ब्ल्याक आर्टिस्ट होइन हामी बाटो त्यही हो र हामी हामी यहाँ सापकोटा सापकोटा कहाँको बनाउँछु पनि चिन्छु नि भरतहरूलाई चिन्छु भरत सापकोटा यहाँ छोरी यहाँ काम गरेको यहाँ डेलिभरी भान्जी हो सापकोटा भान्जी सापकोटा बनाऊ चिन्छु के तपाईको ए सर हामी लाग्यो है नआउने अब जाने मेरो मुद्दा फ्यान
इन्भाइरोमेन्टको यो सेक्सन छ नि त इन्भाइरोमेन्ट कुनको छ है जाने कुरा त विषय के कुन देशले गर्छ हैन म मेडिकल ओइ शान्ति शिवक सर Yes, sir. Into one trip bus. हाम्रो दौर जगन्नाथ श्रेष्ठ हजुरकी स्पेशल एमडी
अभिषेक जी मलाई गर्नु मलाई
भाई इधर ठुलो क्यामेरा भाइ आउनु पर्छ
हामी फेरि नयाँ ग्रुप पनि आयो नि भाइ एकबाट पनि छुटिदिनु
तपाईँले हान्दिनु
भाइ अब एउटा मोबाइलको क्यामेरा छोडाएर एउटा मोबाइलबाट लिन्छु योबाट है सबैले पे गरिदियो क्यामेरा अन भएन
सबै आउँछ
अलिक टाढो Thank you very much. आज त म्याडमहरु सबै अग्लो भयो
गाडीमा सकिगयो भनेर पनि है एकै भयो त्यति नगरी सबै पुगेर बस्ने भयो त अनि ग्रुपमा गएर हैन
ए हो तर त्यस्तै हिजो भयो
खुट्टा भएको मान्छेहरुको क्याटेगरी भयो Is what fine here?
Option B.
Yes, हजुरको प्रेजेन्टेसनमा के हो एकदम ड्रेसअप हुनु पर्यो तपाईँ होइन गर्मी हो म पनि त्यो बिरामी हुनु स्वेटर लगाएर आएको थाहा थिएन कस्तो हेर्नेर
आज के शाम आज के इसके
नाम आज के दिन
TCBC? Yeah. You speak English? Yeah, I speak.
Just a minute. Are you speaking on the house service? Are you speaking on health service? Health service, yeah. Health service, right? Okay. Health service, okay. So maybe in the same.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a late afternoon.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah,
Can you pull this a little bit? See how far it can up. I'm sitting there. What is this? This is cable. Yeah, this one. See. Pull it.
On sit up the other side.
I think there is a there is a socket. There is a line. Yeah. So can you put nonsense with the colony?
Window 8.
त्यो एकचोटि हेरेर मैले के हो यार मैले यसमा यसको साथी सार्नु त नि भरिसकेको त लगभग कल गरे म हेर्छु ओके
Again, what to do this off?
which one
कहाँ हो गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो स्क्यानर
हजुरको पनि के भन्छ लाइन अफ थिङ्किङ चाहिँ डक्टर केसीको
एमबिएसमा पढ्दा टिचिङबाट गरेको एमबी चाहिँ
पनि डक्टर
यो हाम्रो नेक्स्ट टाइम इन्स्टिट्युट हुँदैछ एमडी एमडी 60जनालाई दिन्छ 11वटा डिस्ट्रिक्ट हस्पिटल डाइरेक्ट पढिसकेको डक्टरलाई सबैले हामीले नयाँ नयाँ आइडिया हाम्रो एउटा सिङ्गल साइमन फाउन्डेसन
यो उसकै
धेरै गभर्नमेन्ट सिनियर प्रोग्रामहरू भयो यो वर्षको हाम्रो नयाँ एजुकेसन तर हामी जति कुरा राख्छौँ यो वर्ष हामी चलाउँछौँ कृषि मन्त्रालयले नै राम्रो हुन पाइरहेको छ त्यसपछि के गर्ने नेक्स्ट हामी सोचिरहेको छ अब यो वर्ष चाहिँ हामीले बायोमेट्रिक एडमिसन फर्स्ट टाइम अस्पतालमा डक्टर नर्स भएर सानो जनशक्ति नै नेपालमा छ अहिले हामीले चाहिँ टेक विभाग हामीले सबै लगाएर टिचरहरू हामीले सबै ल्याब सेटअप गरेर सबै गरेर अब त्यहाँ फर्स्ट क्लास सर्टिफिकेट त्यसको चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टलाई एडमिसन दिएको छ दलदेखि कम्तीमा पनि एकजना मान्छे खाली पोखरा हो एमबी चाहिँ आइरहेको एमबी त प्रत्येक वर्ष टिचिङमा पाँचजना नेम्सबाट पाँचजना अब हामी स्कलरसिप हामी दिन्छौँ
त्यो टेस्ट चाहिँ कसले कसलाई दिने
हामी त्यसमा हामी सर्ट एन्ड मान्छेहरूलाई नोमिनेट गरेर आइएममा पठाउँछौँ नेम्समा पठाउँछौँ भनेका दिन्छौँ अनि हाम्रो मेन क्राइटेरिया चाहिँ रिमोटमा बस्ने मान्छे त्यो मेडिकल अफिसर चाहिँ रिमोट अफिसर कति लाइफ 4-5 वर्ष रिमोटमा
अब अहिले गर्ने पछि नगर्ने
त्यसबाट कानुनी लाग्छ उहाँले हेर्नुहुन्छ अब
चाहिँ सँगै पढेको किनामा उहाँले पढ्दाखेरि उहाँले चाहिँ कार्डिफमा गइसकेपछि किनाबाट सँगै पढेको मेन
जति बेस्ट गर्छ त्यसको पेनाल्टी कति हुन्छ ब्रेक रिसेन्टली पनि अब मेन्टी काम गर्नु पर्यो त्यसको त बेला काम गर्नु उहाँलाई हामी 20% राख्छ
केस कोर्ट पनि जान्छ त्यसरी चाहिँ त्यो एन्सर गर्छ
त्यस्तो ट्रेनिङहरू हामी के गर्छौँ पहिला हामी आफै मन्त्रालय लिइहाल्छ सबै
हजुर चाहिँ पास छैन
हाम्रो मेन उद्देश्य चाहिँ हामी ग्याप आइडेन्टिफिकेसन गर्ने कहाँ ग्याप छ हेल्थ न्युट्रिसन त्यसपछि त्यसलाई बाहिर गएर केही समय आफूले गर्ने रिजल्ट हेर्ने ठाउँमा त्यसलाई बेच्नु हामी गभर्मेन्ट सिस्टमलाई मात्रै गर्छौँ प्राइभेट सेक्टरमा गभर्मेन्ट अनि त्यसपछि त्यसलाई स्केल अप गर्ने गभर्मेन्ट सेक्टर अहिले एनएसआईले स्केल अप धेरै प्रोग्राम भइसक्यो हामीले गरेको सानो इन्स्टिट्युट गरेको बेला प्रबन्धित थिएन जिल्ला अस्पताल अहिले 70वटा जिल्ला अस्पताल 23वटा जिल्ला अस्पताल पाएको apologies for them for SBA training course. मेरो फ्यामिलीमा एकजना अरू डक्टर हुनुहुन्छ एउटा चाहिँ अङ्कल अस्ति 5-6 वर्ष अगाडि 5-6 वर्ष अगाडि यो अहिले रेसिडेन्सी गर्दैछ अनि अब रेसिडेन्सी सप्लाई उत्पादन गरिदिने अब एकजना उसको चाहिँ के केस थियो भने पोखरामा गरेको अनि बिहा भयो अनि बिहा भइसक्यो आज माइक गइसकेको थियो अनि उसलाई पनि अब जानु पर्ने भयो ऊ पनि भयो तर एउटा हिसाबले हामीले अलिक सर्ट साथी भयो उताबाट आउनु त आउँदैन तर क्यान्छ चाहिएको के गर्नुहुन्छ सोसाइटी भित्र सबैमा बाहिर पठाउँदा पनि आउँदा पनि मेरो अङ्कल हिजै देखेँ उहाँलाई तर भेट भएन उहाँ चाहिँ मेरो चेन्ज छ कि हजुरआमा हजुरबाको 6 जना सन्तान आएको अनि उसको अब हामीलाई
यो यहाँ छिर्याउँदै ए भयो पुरै छ
अर्को छ नि That's where you believe, that's where you think.
Memory and your doctor, that was good. कलेजबाट एमआरटी कति पुरानो आइएममा usually get that's to observe
कति यो मेरो हो यो तपाईको हो कि एउटा हेर्छ एउटा तिमीलाई प्रब्लम दिएको चेक गर्दैन कति दिएको यो मैले चाहिँ चलाउँदिन नि आइटी गर्नु भएको होइन
टेक्निकल पनि गर्ने अनि कम्प्युटर त्यो ट्रेनिङ पनि डाइरेक्ट पनि त्यो दुईटा भएन भने त त्यो ब्यालेन्स सर अहिले अहिले
के गर्नु पर्यो अहिले अहिले बाबा
अहिले ममा
के गर्नु
तर क्यान्सर मैले नभनेको म
किन फेरि यसलाई एक्सेप्ट गर्ने
त्यो भन्नु जरुरी पनि छ जस्तो फिल हुन्छ कहिले कहिले छैन जस्तो तर नर्मल कुरा गर्दा तर फेरि सिरियस कुरा गर्दाखेरि मैले नभनेको it's important that I let people know that I have to do, I have to put people कोही यस्तै मलाई गाह्रो कोही यस अलिकति रफ टाइम भयो अब चाहिँ अस्तिसम्म ठिक भयो त्यो क्यान्सर अहिले चिप्लाउन गाह्रो हुन्छ
माग्नु पर्दैन
हाम्रो ट्रेनमा
के बोल्ला this is the like this is like this
पाँचखालमा एउटा कुरा आइरहेको छ होइन पाँचखालमा एकदमै
सबै हाल्नु सबै हालिदिनु सबैले यो
बस्दै यहाँ हावापानीमा होइन अब त्यो त त्यस्तो लाग्छ गरिबसेको त्यो नेपालको
सेभ गरेपछि त
यसमा के छ थाहा छैन
मेरो भाइले
Last year, 4 months
Good afternoon and welcome back to the second session. My name is Pradeep Gautam.
We cannot hear you properly.
So, I would like to utilize the time now by sharing you with the biographies of our panelists for this session. We have 3 principles here. It's about the household. It is similar that we have done before. With the simple twist on that. What we will do in this session during the question and answer is that we will try to approach one question at a time, and then we will go to the next question. So welcome you to the second session. Nicholas Lee, Stage 1. He is currently the Director of Youth Development. He is a visionary leader with the Promparians in the leadership role since 2004. Nicholas has served in several international youth organizations. Attained his bachelor's degree of science in mechanical engineering in Liverpool. He is an active speaker in several conventions. He is International Youth Leader Summit
over 40,000 trees planted. He is also the founder of the Nairobi River Peace Initiative, an initiative that seeks to empower communities through action and foster social responsibility towards sustainable livelihoods across Kenya by a job and university. So he is a proud father of 5, 2 boys and 3 girls. Similarly, we have the panelist, Mr. Ram Rohan Panda. I think we all know him. He is the president of Global Peace Foundation Nepal, building partnerships and implementing values for peace. He is a social, legal, environment, and tech activist. He plays an active leadership role in NGOs working with children's education, youth rights, and peace building. He is a member of the Institution of Engineering and Technology. In the meantime, I would like to thank APP, GSA, and the City of Nepal for providing this opportunity to moderate this session. I have been practicing in the ecosystem and environmental services for quite some time, and I'm happy that I'm among the youths of my country. So I'd like to request your active participation during the exercises. So with these words, I'd like to request Mr. Lee to start his presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pratik, moderate this session. My name is Nicholas Lee from Malaysia. I'm the speaker and moderator with Break My Profile. I think it's pretty much challenge here. I mean, after lunch, maybe, and I hope everyone can pay attention. Yeah. So, and then also bear with me if my English are not clear. Okay. So I'm working on a project named Community Unites for Pure Water. So short form is CUP. So everyone is CUP. So CUP is the pure water, right? So the CUP is for drinking clean water. Okay, it's a meaning. In fact, this is a self-initiative, project. Of course, it's working with several partners, partners from corporates and from government and some kind of NGO as well. But it's all started, it's a few people. Yeah, my colleague here sitting here, Mr. James Wu, is my partners who are working on this project. Let's recognize him. Can you stand up, please? Yes, and then we form a team, together with multilateral partners. That's you. Oh, sorry, when I press it. As you know, everyone want to know the intention why we want to initiate this project. There's the fact that 783 million people do not have access to clean water, and almost 3.5 billion do not have access to adequate sanitation. I mean, I can send you the PowerPoint later because it's too much fact, about clean water issue. So I think this is a very motivation that for us, to start some initiative. I know there is thousands of project organizations working on clean water, but the number still seems like it's increasing. It's like every year because of population and so forth. So, and we launched in 2010. At that time, online is an engaging project. So we established a website and we get traffic, people to click. One click, 10 cents will generate by, 10 cents generated. Then the 10 cents will be donated somehow by the corporate, right? It's a matching. Yeah, and we're able to raise some small funding, and then a team will fly to Cambodia to install the first water sanitation system. And then we also do a little bit of roadshow in the university. But things are like in 2010 started, now it's 2015. Is almost like 5 years, we have 4.5 years. So it's a lot of challenges because we through online we drive the fundraising campaign. At the same time, we also have to find which area affected area who needed the clean water. At the same time, we also have to empower the people. It's taking this as ownership for this project. It's not like a raising fund and to build a system then say hi, say bye kind of things. So and then we start again, this campaign. It's probably just last year. And our very mission is to help the rural communities from around the world to obtain the clean water, drinking water, because access of water can be a source of conflict, but it is also a catalyst for cooperation and peace building. So it is really define our vision and objective for this project. And that is two limitation that we're facing when we go along with this project. The first is the effectiveness of the clean water solution, which means actually we build some system, but it's not sustainable, right? If you build it and later on 1 year nobody takes care, and kind of issue. And the second is financial sustainability. We can't like keep driving the donation, then will be not sustainable. Charity is not a sustainable method. I mean, it's from our viewpoint. Then actually we have worked together with an engineer, very profound company. It's a German company. They are the largest water pump system company in the world. So we managed to work with engineer. So it's one of the engineers that you saw. Engineer is small. Okay, forget about it. So he is putting his effort, and then like he invented a system which doesn't require skilled manpower to operate. It doesn't require electricity, to filter the dirty water, and then also it doesn't require any chemical, to treat the water. So the first instance actually in 2010 is one of the rural area. At that time, the system is very huge, very big, and costs a lot actually. And along the year, he keep refine and revamp, repolish. Now the system that you saw in the picture is very, very small. It's very small. The footprint is just like here. Yeah. And then 2 ladies, actually you can assemble that system. Very light, you can carry wherever you have 30. The reason why it's no need electricity, it operates by using the gravity. So it's certain height of water when it come in, so it will play the magic. I mean, by gravity. And then you no need to take out that system. I mean, the filter, that is a filtration, the filter inside. You no need to take out the filter. I mean, it's auto wash. So this is amazing. But this system is not made for commercial. I mean, that is our very purpose of inventing the system. Yeah, it's mainly to help the rural community. Yeah, it's like someone named it a social entrepreneurs, but you still figure out what it means by social entrepreneurs. But it's entrepreneurs that's sustainable, yet bring the impact to the project. So actually, we launched it last year after the system. We launched last year in the World Water Day, 22nd March. Today is 22nd March, not 23rd. But Memorial Day 22nd. Okay, it's like 1 year anniversary of the launch. Yes. I want to show you the website that we are working on. Actually, we are no longer like do the I mean not say no longer. I mean, but I say we want to start a project in the country where I'm from. Yeah, it's rather than spending money, to fly out the country until we make the model that we can replicate, the model. I want to show you the website. You can take down the website www.ourvillagewater.org. Yes. Okay, everyone, take it. So just want to show you this. How this the first solution already system. I cannot say it's a solution for the entire world. I mean, it's a solution that we work on. And then the second is in fact, the link is this is a website, okay, and all this website is done by from this point. Okay, so look at Malaysia itself. We have 40% of the rural houses in East Malaysia do not have access to clean water. Actually, until we find out last year, when the statistic from the government actually until we find out actually quite a number of living in a very rural area who doesn't have clean water, but some they have clean water, but water is already polluted because they direct consume from the river, the source, not filtered. And okay, we go along. And how does it work? Okay, so from dirty water to we are now targeting in one village. It's a model village. Okay. Village, we just have to fund the first system. Then we have a clean water. It's actually we can apply this so-called pay-it-forward system, which means the community actually they can order the water, the clean water. It's not to sell on the market. Actually, we intend to make the community when that has access to clean water, so many things can be developed, right? So we intend to make that community to become a place, for people, to visit, to do homestay, to do exchange program, right? So then the income can be generated, in that village by the people. And then once they generate the income, they can set aside the income to get another system to help for the second village and to have the which means you keep doing, just have need to let it go on circle. Yeah. Which means it's an empowerment effect here. We empower the community to take care of other community, of that. Yeah. Okay, if we go on. Yes. All right, this later on when you log in the website yourself by yourself, you can just play the video. You have to play because my time is limited. Okay, this we are. Online awareness campaign at the beginning. Then we aim to engage the nation efforts to provide clean water for in community worldwide. Yeah. So this is a agency that we can with this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, may I ask Yapin to proceed for his presentation?
Good afternoon all. I don't hear your voices. Good afternoon. You seem to have taken heavy lunch. The list is again, it's my pleasure to be here, and thank you, Pradeep, for this opportunity and the organizers of this youth consultation. I'll be presenting what we've been able to do in Nairobi, that is representing in essence what we are doing also across Africa. Well, I'll go brief to share what we've been able to do, especially on 3 areas. That is on water and sanitation, 2 on reforestation, and 3 on waste management. So my background would be to do with our post-election violence. I'm sure you must have heard what happened in Kenya sometimes 2007, 2008. So basically that formed the basis of our efforts on mobilizing the youth, on volunteerism, and taking proactive action. So 2007, 2008, we had a dispute presidential election to be very specific, and to about 600,000 displaced from their homes where they used to call home. And again, Nairobi, having to be the capital city of Kenya, took the large chunk of these money. So there were a lot of disruption. And you realize a number of those who took part in this destruction of property and human lives, majority were the youths. So in terms of population, actually in Kenya, the youth population is about more than 60%. That's population. So basically, we did this on the background of the Global Peace Foundation in Kenya, and looking at GPF running on 3 pillars of service, strengthening of families, and also on education. So the Nairobi River Peace Initiative came in as a service pillar of the Global Peace Fund. So through this, we were able to mobilize about 3,000 young people across Nairobi. Nairobi River happens to join with other 9 streams riding down to the Indian Ocean. So level. So I would say this is something that has been able to help specifically in terms of bringing the youth involved in playing or rather giving support on in terms of projects or other issues that needs to be addressed at the community level. Again, in 2012, we were able to launch the East Africa Peace Service Corps, which happens to be now which falls under the activities that we are doing in the environment, which had an health track, environment track, youth, and entrepreneurship and peace tracks. Those are the four tracks that actually were launched at the East Africa Peace Service Corps. And then, luckily again, 2013, we were able to launch the now Africa Peace Service Corps. Now, looking at all these